Hey everybody in YouTube land, this is Professor DiMaggio's Gaming. We're going to be going through some examples of what I think are the best mid-screen pressure combos that you can do with Rashid to take your opponent to the corner. This video has the advantage as part 3 of my advanced Rashid guide series of being the product of probably about 20,000 matches of me playing Rashid between casuals, custom rooms, a little bit of Battle Hub, and some ranked matches too. So yeah, we're just going to be looking at a lot of different sort of ways in which you can pressure your opponent, take them to the corner. There are obviously other ways to do it than the ones that I'm going to show you here, but these are really pretty effective. So if you've been watching this series, you know this is part 3. These videos are meant for advanced platinum players, diamond players, and new master players to give you a sense at a higher level of playing this game about what good pressure would look like if you can vary up your mid-screen pressure and attempts at corner carry between a lot of different strategies. And so this video will give you a lot of ways to do that, at least ones that are my favorites that I've found have worked really well. Okay, the first strategy or approach or combo or whatever you want to call it, we're going to look at. I'm going to show you it first, and then I'll talk about why this works and why it's good. You'll use a drive rush into forward and medium punch. After the drive rush into forward medium punch, whether it connects or not, you'll do 2 jabs. So they could block or they could not block, and it's going to pressure them already, push them back, not necessarily all the way to the corner, but you're already going to be getting some corner pressure here. And then you are going to connect that into the crouching medium kick, as you can see there, and then that cancels into the light mixer. Okay, so that sequence, why is this good? Because on the one hand, it gives you incredible range with that drive rush forward medium punch. You can be very far away and you can cover a lot of distance toward pushing them to the corner. The 2 jabs after actually set you up really nicely in terms of a spacing trap for a crouching medium kick, where for the large majority of the characters on the cast, if somebody tries to push a button after the 2 light punches, as you go into the crouching medium kick, you'll catch them. And so basically you'll connect on your crouching medium kick. And from there, if you want to go the poor man's route and you don't really want to spend any more meter, you can just cancel the crouching medium kick into the light mixer. And this is really a very safe, cheap, not bad way at all if it connects to push the other, your opponent, the other character, probably about halfway to the corner. Now, there are other ways to do this we're going to look at in a second here that involve more meter, and we'll take you all the way to the corner, but this is just the most basic version of this. So the more expensive version of this, if you want to get the full corner carry, it is 4 bars, so you want to be really careful when you spend that kind of meter to get to the corner. I think what happens with a lot of people who do these crouching medium drive rush cancel combos is that they're not watching their meter, so it's really easy to burn out. It's sort of counterproductive to take someone to the corner on a combo that's heavily scaled because it's a crouching medium kick cancel, and then not have any meter left once you're in the corner to actually take advantage of it. So you really do have to be careful with these. I will sometimes use the crouching medium kick drive rush cancel, as you can see here, while trying to do corner carry. One of the risks of doing this, though, is that people are always looking for it, especially when you get to master rank. People are looking for, they're expecting, if you do a couple hits standing and they block, that you're going to go for a low next. So it's not uncommon to see, like, if they block the 2 jabs and the drive rush forward medium punch, that you go for the crouching medium kick next, and people will just go from high block to low. It's just very common. So, this approach is not without its limits, and you want to be really careful if you do connect in the crouching medium kick to be careful about your meter and managing that so you don't burn out. But as you can see here, so it's crouching medium kick, drive rush cancel, and you can do any sort of permutation on your corner carry combo if you want after that. The one that I like to do is crouching medium kick, drive rush cancel into standing medium kick, and then I'll usually do the target combo, medium punch, heavy kick, which launches them into the air. Then I'll do a heavy cyclone after, and push back and kick. If you push quarter circle back and light kick, you'll finish with the light sky high, as you can see here, which gives you, options for other things to follow up with in terms of meaties. But this is, as good as any, this particular corner carry option. And there are many others, but basically all of them work really well, as you can see here, in terms of taking you all the way to the corner. Option number 2. This is one of my favorites for anyone who watches my videos, my highlights, my tutorials, my guides. I love the crouching, drive rush crouching light kick because it's so damn fast. You really can't beat this in terms of corner carry. So the simple version of this, as you can see there, is drive rush crouching light kick into the target combo, right? Into the heavy cyclone, back and heavy kick twice. It's going to get you about half to 2/3 of the way to the corner. So that one's actually really good. It only costs you 1 bar. It's super fast. You'll have to do more pressure after that to get them all the way to the corner, but I don't think you can really lose with this one. Super safe with the drive rush crouching light kick to start off into the target combo. I will show you later what you can do if you don't connect on the crouching light kick into target combo for how to make this fully safe or heavily safe after that, but that will be in a little bit. And so, yeah, this is just a really good one. And there's other options too if you want to use a little bit more bar in order to guarantee you get the full corner carry. So we're going to take a look at that in just a second here. And so, you'll have to spend more bar, but you're guaranteed to get the full corner carry. So here it is. As you can see, it's the drive rush crouching light kick target combo. And instead of doing the heavy cyclone here, you did the EX cyclone. That allows you to do the run kicks forward into the heavy mixer finish. And you've got a decent damage combo here, although it does cost, 3 bars. It does take them all the way to the corner, not too bad. This is a tried and true. You really can't lose on this one. I recommend it a lot. If somebody blocks your drive rush crouching light kick into the target combo, what you're going to want to do, because you always want to play against your opponent, not have a pre-canned game plan here. You need to react to what they're doing. You want to not end with the target combo because you're going to be super negative and get punished. So what you can do really simply is, you just do the drive rush, the target combo, and cancel that into the light mixer. And that way you're not opening yourself up for any pressure. I think you're like -2 or -3 after the light mixer. But there's nothing they're really going to be able to press in terms of a button for the most part that's really going to be able to punish you after that light mixer. So this is, safe, good pressure. You're still pushing them to the corner even if they block, as you can see here. But one of the risks, as you can see as well, is because you're negative, what if they throw you? So you could technically throw tech if you're guessing throw in advance, but I actually don't recommend that. I just recommend to sort of hold back after the first time if you whiff on all, or if you miss on all of this and they block, and see what they do, because they might try to push buttons, or they might try and throw you. If they throw you, you're going to take 12% damage. Not great, but at least you know what the person's doing after that. And so how can you deal with that? Well, you don't want to sort of give up this space to the other player. You don't want to give them a throw every time after you finish with the light mixer, even if they block, because then they're pushing you back again. You're sort of losing any progress you made in terms of corner carry, and you're just conceding this middle ground of the level to them. So the best thing to do if you know that somebody's going to go for a throw after light mixer is, if you know they're going to do it, if you saw them do it once already, you could always cancel out, you could or beat the throw by doing an EX mixer. And so hopefully, if you do that once, the person you're playing is relatively sane and they can be conditioned not to try and throw again after the light mixer. And if they think that you're going to do an EX mixer after the light mixer and they block, then that actually gives you more opportunity there to continue to pressure with jabs and other buttons after the light mixer. Because even if you're negative, if they're going to block, then that gives you the ability to sort of steal your turn back if they think you're going to do another EX mixer. If your opponent blocks on the drive rush crouching light kick into target combo, another thing you can do is you can go for a light cyclone immediately after, as you see here. Why that works so well potentially is because the light cyclone after the target combo, you cancel into the light cyclone, and it's a frame trap. So if they push a button thinking they can punish you after the target combo, you're going to get them with the light cyclone. And if you hit them with the light cyclone, you are actually perfectly spaced after that, as you can see here, to go for the crouching light kick into, let's say, a light mixer. So this is actually really nicely spaced in terms of going for that light cyclone into the crouching medium kick into the light mixer, right, as you see there. Yeah. And so there's another way you can also do this, or we'll take a look at here in a second. You can, after the crouching medium kick, you can do the drive rush cancel as you're seeing here and try to get full corner carry that way too. So it's really either way. If you want to go the poor man's route and go crouching medium kick into light mixer for a less expensive push, you can do that, or you can do the drive rush cancel as you're seeing here. Either way is good. If you connect on the light cyclone, then you've got that spacing trap to hit them. One thing you really need to look out for if you do the light cyclone is people who are waiting because they know that it's a spacing trap to do a drive impact, because you're not going to be able to counter DI off of the light cyclone. So they've really just got you here. And so that's the problem, right? If they're going to nail you with the drive impact, then this really doesn't work. And so this is why I mentioned it's important to sort of know your opponent and what they're doing. If you see your opponent do this once, then you have to know what your options are to counter this the next time around to continue pressuring them without getting hit by a drive impact like this and giving them free damage. So what you can do in this situation is you can push forward, and if you know that they're going to do the drive impact, then you can go back to doing the light cyclone as you see here, and then they might turn drive impact after and you can block, or you can actually just do your own counter DI after that, because you're not going to be open to damage and getting hit on the light mixer. Also, one thing you can do here, for people who like to hit DI, is instead of, if you know that they're going to do it, like they do it the first time and you know it's going to come the next time, or it's probably going to come, you can actually do, instead of the light cyclone, you can do a heavy cyclone after the target combo. That's actually going to bust the DI, because you need 3 hits, and that comes with 3 hits. The only problem with this is, as you can see with the block after there, it's actually -2 for you. So you can see with the frame meter on right here, right? See that? -2. That's actually not great, because if you try to push like a fast button, like even a jab, and they push a jab, you're going to lose. So it's not that you can't continue to pressure after you bust their DI if you do want to try to go this route. It's just that it's a little bit risky because you're -2. Now, having said that, from what I've noticed when I bust people's DIs when they try to do it after the target combo, they don't know it's -2 on your end. So you can sort of push it a little bit if you want, and this is sort of a knowledge check situation. If they don't know that you're -2, you can just push forward, and they're probably going to be shocked that you busted their DI. And that's what I've noticed from the times that I have done this, and I'm just able to push forward even though I'm -2, and I'm actually able to get more damage or more pressure. So it really depends on who you're playing and if they know it's -2 or not. But the safest way to move forward, if people are DI happy, if you get blocked on your drive rush crouching light kick into target combo, is just to do the light mixer after. What if you've got a trigger happy opponent and they like to just mash EXDP? Well, then you're sort of in trouble here, in the sense that once there's a break after the block, as you can see there after the target combo, if you're going to try and go into the light cyclone, you're just going to get lit up. And so if you've got a player like this who mashes EXDP anytime they're blocking, you've probably got bigger problems on your hands than just worrying about this particular combo string, because you're dealing with somebody who's really impulsive and YOLO. So you're just going to have to adjust your entire gameplay strategy to deal with that and try to continuously and routinely bait people. One way you can do that in this particular string is that if you see them do that once, you can just, instead of going for the light cyclone, you can cancel your target combo into the light mixer there. And if they're really impulsive and they're just mashing EXDP all the time, you can hold block after your light mixer, and then you're not going to get lit up. You can actually punish them, as you can see here. So that works pretty well for YOLO players. Another really good pressure move is drive rush into heavy punch. And from drive rush to heavy punch, if you connect, you can do all types of interesting stuff, which I'll show you here in a second. So what this is going to look like is it's drive rush, heavy punch, heavy cyclone, roll forward into heavy mixer. What's nice about that, if it connects, is you're talking about almost 28% damage for one bar. And obviously a lot of corner carry because you've almost got them to the corner there, although there's a lot of space in between. You know, you really have pushed them pretty far to the corner, and you can do more pressure after. If the opponent blocks the drive rush heavy punch into the rest of this, you have some other options for continued pressure, although you want to be aware of what the limits are here too, which I'll talk about in a minute. After the roll forward, you are going to, well, you're actually plus. You're plus enough that where you can push a button like a jab, as you see here. And if you wanted to, you could just do a couple jabs into a light mixer if you wanted, or you could cancel the jab into another jab and then get a lot more pressure and corner carry, as you're seeing here, into additional damage if you want to spend meter. So yeah, like the drive rush into heavy punch is really good in the sense that it's got a lot of pressure. If you connect on some of the stuff, you can take them to the corner with the jabs. You're plus with the jab, so it's really sort of hard to lose on this one. It's actually really good. And there is an option once you've conditioned your opponent that I'll show you here too. Condition your opponent not to push a button after you do the heavy cyclone into the roll forward. You can actually throw them as well. This is another really good pressure tactic here. If they're not going to be pushing a button, you can just throw, and that gives you additional push toward the corner. Things to look out for here. This is a legitimate combo if you hit on the drive rush heavy punch into the heavy cyclone into the roll, into additional damage. But if they block, it can be interrupted like anything. So, you know, they can interrupt it. For example, if you try to go for that heavy cyclone with a jab, as you saw there, it could be interrupted with anything from that point. Like, for example, if you want to go YOLO, like an EXDP. The opponent will lose, though, because of the 3 hits on the heavy cyclone, to a DI if they try and do that after, as you just saw. So keep this stuff in mind. No combo pressure is undefeatable. And so if you don't connect on the heavy punch, you could get some damage if you continue to go forward with the string in terms of, you know, getting jabbed out of it or something like that. Okay, here's a fourth decent mid-screen pressure option that I've talked about in some of my other videos and content. It is the drive rush crouching medium punch into the crouching medium kick into the light mixer, and you could always go for extra pressure after that if you connect with a throw, which is meaty. This is not going to get you a huge amount of distance in terms of taking them to the corner, but it's only 1 bar, and it's a pretty good combo in terms of damage and pressure. What you can also do, if you connect on this, as you can see here, is after the light mixer, you can walk back ever so slightly, and if they're going to try and throw tech or go for a throw, you can actually shimmy back and punish them with a heavy punch into a heavy cyclone roll, into a heavy mixer. Because that's a punish combo, you're talking about like 30% damage, which is pretty huge. What's also nice about this sequence is that if somebody tries to DI you after the drive rush medium punch into the crouching medium kick into the light mixer, that light mixer has a lot of hits on it. It's got like 3 or 4 hits. So what it's going to do is it's going to bust their armor for their drive impact, as you can see there. So this is actually a really good sequence in terms of protecting against drive impact too. A really good situational pressure. If you know somebody likes to push drive impact on your pressure, you can go for something really specific here. Again, you should already know in advance that this person likes to push drive impact. Otherwise, you're just doing this and the person may not do anything and you're just sort of wasting the potential for a combo. You know, so this is like, you don't want to do a drive rush into a crouching light kick, as I'm going to show you here, into more pressure in this particular way, if you think the person's not going to push a DI, because it's just not very effective. But so I'll show you what I'm talking about. So you've got a drive rush into 2 jabs. It could be crouching or crouching to standing jab. And then you do the light cyclone after, right? Why is that so good if you know somebody likes to hit drive impact? It's actually not great in one way, in the sense that you're already sort of giving up the potential on any sort of corner carry combo if you're going to just do drive, rush, crouching, light kick into 2 jabs into a light cyclone, because that's going to end your combo there with the light cyclone. It just ends there. But this does give you a form of insurance if you know somebody is DI happy, where you can protect yourself against that. If they do it to you once while you're trying to pressure them, you can do this a second time to protect against that. So you do the drive rush, you do the 2 jabs, you do the light cyclone, right? And so you can see if they push the drive impact, the combination of the 2 jabs into the light cyclone is going to break the drive impact. What can you do after that? You can do the crouching medium kick because you're spaced perfectly there to go for the crouching medium kick into the light mixer for pressure. If they want to try and DI after that, you can just throw them, of course. Or you can, after the DI break, you can crouching medium kick, as you see there, into the drive rush cancel, corner carry, and maybe they'll push, even if they push another DI. At that point, on the drive rush cancel, you can counter DI them there too. So you've got the options there of protecting yourself from DIs even after the light cyclone. If you're doing the crouching medium kick into drive rush cancel, push forward, you've got the option of possibly getting corner carry there, and you can still counter DI if they want to push DI yet again. This is actually a decent sequence, everything I just ran you through here. If you know somebody is really big into DIs, you can bait that stuff out and you can punish it with this sequence. A final option for corner carry pressure on mid-screen is you can do a light cyclone, as you see there, and then push back and medium kick. You can push really back in any kick to shoot yourself forward. And then, but if you go for the medium kick right after the light cyclone as you shoot forward, that's actually an overhead. And so what you can do here is, light cyclone back and medium kick twice. The second one hits. If the overhead medium kick hits, you can do that and do a target combo. And you can do whatever you want after that. You can EX cyclone, can do the run kicks into a heavy mixer finisher. But this is a legit corner pressure tactic. The one thing that's not good about this is if somebody sees you doing the light cyclone to start this off here, and you're a little bit further away, they can always interrupt your push forward right there. They can interrupt that push forward with a jab. You can just stop it because they see it coming in advance. So I actually don't think that this sequence is super good unless you've got somebody, as you can see here with this Ken. This is good for Giles too, or anybody else who loves to crouch. This is something you should keep in mind potentially using if you've got someone who loves to crouch, because then the overhead becomes valuable, right? If somebody's crouching all the time, you can catch them sleeping with an overhead. And so this is something you shouldn't take out of the running for potentially using as part of your toolkit if somebody's a croucher. So it's very situational. It has the weakness, as I mentioned, of someone being able to jab you out of it because they can see it coming. But for crouchers, the advantage is that you can knock them out of the crouch and take them to the corner. So for that alone, this is valuable and something worth considering. So I hope this video was useful. Keep a lookout for future guides moving forward. I'm going to be talking in the near future about all different types of swanky, snazzy style combos versus practical combos, because you see a lot of different types of combos I do in my highlight reels, and which ones are actually useful for things like ranked matches and which ones are purely style combos. That's something I'll talk about in the future. If you found this video useful, feel free to give it a like. If you are not subscribed and you want to, feel free to do so. Otherwise, thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you on the next video in about a week.